Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we want to take a deeper look at the Clanwar League week of Tribe Gaming. The in-game league, or like the rankings, are already out, so we can see Nova will probably be once again in Poland. We will see iTzu in Poland again. We will see whether at Air Force have any visa issues again. Blaze JP could make it again if, like I said, if at Air Force can't make it. We are sadly in number 14, which means we have to hope for the ESL qualifiers. Let's see how those go. And yeah, but let's take a look at our week. It wasn't bad at all or anything. It was just that you can't really compete with a couple of those guys. They're insane. And let's check out a couple of those attacks. If you guys want to see even more attacks of those Clanwar leagues in Tribe Gaming, check out my German channel as well. They're complete different attacks from the week, even though the thumbnail and the video title will be probably similar. So just a heads up from me. What is except the replays the topic of this video? First off, I want to show you guys as many strategies as possible. We have Queen Charge Hawks, we have Electro Dragon Kill Squad, we have Queen Charge Lalo, Mass Hawks, Queen Charge Miner, Kill Squad Hawk Riders. So a lot of different strategies. And at the same time, we want to talk about why a couple of those clans can perform that good in the Clanwar League and not that good in Poland. And at the same time, I want to talk about what is right now the strongest option for you guys to triple in Clanwar leagues, and why is that. So let's take a look at the first one, which is going to be, this one is going to be Queen Charge Hawk Riders. And while I'm talking about this Queen Charge plan, we want to talk already about those mass attacks pretty much, which means those mass strategies are super strong right now, which means Mass Hawks, Mass Lalo in that sense, like Sui Lalo or Electron are pretty similar, or Mass Miners even. So all of them are super strong right now. The reason for that is because all of those small troops, for example, Miners, Hawks, Loons, are getting a huge boost due to the Warden ability and the effect around the Warden, which means the bonus health, which is huge. Because if you're using P.E.K.K.A. Smash, for example, which was super strong before the update and is still super strong, but they didn't got like a as big buff as, for example, those small swarm troops, because, well, there are only 4, maybe 5 P.E.K.K.A. in the army composition, and they're your main tanks, so they don't benefit too much from the like additional health, which is like a big reason why P.E.K.K.A. Smash isn't seen as often anymore as before that. So let's talk about why overall the mass attacks are so strong. So for example, the Mass Hawk Rider, which is super popular right now, it's especially strong because if you're facing weaker clans, let's put it like this, clans for example who don't build on their own and just copy bases, especially most of the time without knowing the perfect trap location, they probably won't place the best spring traps. And spring traps, it's actually really hard to actually place the spring traps in the location where you need those, because it's really easy that you mess up the location, that you place all of your spring traps at the wrong spot. For example, if you place them around the town hall, which is most of the time the location where you're placing or where you're doing the Sui attack or like the hero dive, where you're using the slammer to get rid of the town hall. So you don't really need too many traps around the town hall, which at the same time is like a big flaw for most of the players because they try to defend their town hall. So that's the difference between being good in the Clanwar leagues and actually being good in Poland. Because in Poland, there are actually base builders who know what they're doing, and they're knowing, okay, the town hall is just another building. The thing what we have to protect is the 3rd star. So we don't have to protect our town hall with like additional traps or anything. It's all about the perfect placement of spring traps, especially spring traps, because if you didn't really test them, it's really easy to mess them up. Because even if you place a spring trap between 2 buildings who are really close to each other, it's easy to mess them up because you have 3 options. And not always the Hawk Riders are taking the middle tile to actually path from one building to the other one, which is super important when you're placing those traps. And what you can see in most of those clans who are actually in Champion 1, they can't really place traps. No offense, but that's the fact. And we can see that getting completely yeah, kind of exploited by the top clans with using those mass Hawk Rider strategies. Let's check out the next attack, which is going to be by Timo, who did an insanely good week. So we have to check at least one attack from him out. And this is going to be Electro Dragon Kill Squad, which is really strong as well, because most of the players are defending something like Electron, but you have like a huge power when you're bringing 2 more Electro Dragons, which you actually have to test. And when you're just copying the base, it's really hard to actually test that. So let's take a look at what Timo is trying to do. He's trying to make sure that he's getting the Slammer and the Electro Dragons onto those expos. And with having them onto the expos, he's getting a couple of things. First off, really nice bounces because, well, those expos, now I have it, have really high hit points, which means it's really nice to get bounces over them with Electro Dragons. And he has a lot of really important defenses close together, which means, for example, the Queen, 2 expos, the Eagle, the Inferno Tower. So there are a lot of stuff really close together, and you can see the bounces of the Electro Dragons through the base. And there's already 30% of the base gone. Only with a couple of Electro Dragons, and that's basically it. Now he's starting off with the Lalo. There's pretty much no danger for him to, well, first off getting the second star with the Town Hall, and second of all, making sure that the Lalo pathing is nice. So that's really good as well. Like I said, once again, most of the traps around the Town Hall, which is like a classic. Tornado trap next to the Town Hall, and then just the Warden ability to make sure that the Town Hall is down. In the current attack meta, when you're attacking with Lalo, you nearly always have a freeze anyways for the Town Hall, which means the Tornado Trap isn't really making anything next to the Town Hall. So I don't know. Let's see how this goes. He has no spells left, but still, like, such a big group of loons. The Warden is supporting them, so this is going to be a nice triple. And like I said, we have many attacks to go. If you guys want to see other attacks as well of the week, check out the German video. Like I said, they will be different than the attacks I'm showing over here, because we had enough triples to show you guys. The next one is going to be in the next war, which means in War 5, and this is going to be Queen Charge Lalo. So number 8, let's check out this. So it's from Boom, and he's doing a really nice Queen Charge Lalo attack. And yeah, so once again, the difference between those spammy kind attacks and those Queen Charge attacks. The reason why those Queen Charge attacks aren't like too good, or like they're really strong, maybe even stronger in general than the spammy attacks, but it is way easier to actually mess them up, because one Coco Loon, which is too late, one misplaced heal, or like healer, one misplaced rage, whatever. So it's way easier to mess them up instead of those mass attacks, because, well, on those Hawk Rider attacks, you most of the time have to somehow get the Sui done, which means like the first hero placements. And after that, you have to make sure that, well, you're placing your heal spells at the correct time for your Hawk Riders. And that's most of the time it for the attack. So there's a huge difference in actually being able to perform a really good Queen Charge and kind of like just spamming in troops, but at the same time it's super strong. So you should do, if you're in those kind of like those normal wars and you know that your opponent probably don't know how to place the correct spells, like the correct traps. What Boom is doing, he's going to place the next rage, making sure that he's getting down the Eagle, the enemy Queen. He's trying to freeze her, but like there's so much damage on his own Queen. Nice thing what he did is he got it as well the Expo frozen, which is nice. And then what he's going to do, using the ability, the Slammer is going to activate the Town Hall. There's no air defense next to the Town Hall, which means the Slammer can activate like or get rid of this Wizard Tower, and then the cannon. And as soon as that's done, by the way, once again the Tornado Trap next to the Town Hall, and this means the Town Hall is activated. He's using the Warden ability to make sure that all of the loons are getting through the Town Hall. Meanwhile, his Queen died, which means it's pretty much a swagged rage over there as well. But why I chose this attack is those Queen Charges are super strong, but at the same time, like I said, it's super easy to get something wrong. But at the same time, he's still able to save it, so that's really strong as well. another haste, and he has 1 haste left for the last Inferno Tower. He has still the Slammer left to activate, which is huge, and the Warden is still following, giving all of the troops the bonus HP. Meanwhile, you always have to be careful when you're doing those Lalo attacks with the enemy king, which sounds stupid, but it is true, because you need a lot of minions to take care of the king, because if there are storages around the king and you need to take them down, it takes ages, because the king normally always walks in front of them, which means all of them, your minions will be on top of them, on top of the king. So it's super tricky, but it's going to be a 3-star, really nice attack by Boom. The Slammer is still not even used, or like not even opened. So that's nicely done. Let's check out the next attack, and this is going to be the Mass Hawk Rider attack I was talking about. And there are actually a couple of different possibilities to like use it. One of the main things you should take care, like make sure, is that if there's the Town Hall and the king really close together and you can get rid of both, that's a huge value bonus pretty much if you're going for the Town Hall. The reason behind that is the king is kind of like the queen, a hero in the base, which is always attacking your Hawk Riders, and your Hawk Riders can't really defend themselves against this defense in that sense. Which means if you're if you're having the king left around like over here or like whatever, it's super tricky to get the Hawk Riders through that, because there's so much damage and your heal spell can't really keep up with that, which means your Hawk Riders will die eventually. While, well, if you're going for the Town Hall and you're getting a lot of traps, like usually, like the Tornado Trap once again, and at the same time the king as well, it's like a huge bonus for Hawk Riders. And now let's take a look at how many Spring Traps he's getting for this base. Because like I said, Spring Traps are the most important trap against the Hawk Riders. So far, at least, maybe if I'm blind, or like not blind, 1 Spring Trap, that was the first one, the first Spring Trap he got so far. And let's keep counting, because 2nd Spring Trap, because it's super important to have them correctly. And still 2 Spring Traps so far. Another 2 Hawks, which is nice. Another 2 Hawks, which means so far he was pretty decent with the Spring Traps, but the pathing was way too good. Tesla Farm is popping up, even more Hawk Riders are coming and following the main group, and he has 1 heal spell left, another Spring Trap, so he got, I think, 6 Spring Traps correct, but at the same time you have to see the value. So I think in most of those Spring Traps he had 1 to 2 Hawk Riders. I think there was 1 more Spring Trap which didn't really work. So what you try to aim for is at least 7 or even 8 Spring Traps that work and get at least 3 Hawk Riders, which means you have to see where the Hawk Riders are grouping up and try to get as much value out of that, which is super important in those mass Hawk Rider attacks. And the second thing is that you try to make sure not to have the Channel Trap and the king next to a Town Hall, which is not the best idea so far in base building. Another thing what will come in the next couple of days when it comes to the videos is I will upload a video where I show you guys another Town Hall 12 base. And with this base, I will show a couple of things what you have to take care, like what you have to think about when you're trying to defend like the most used strategies in that sense. For example, I will show you guys what to do against the Mass Hawk Rider attack, what to do against the Queen Charges in general, what to do against Elect Dragons in general, like just a general guide on how to have at least one important thing on how to defend that. And yeah, that's super important. But at the same time, one thing to remember, you can't, or like right now in the meta, you can't defend everything. Like it's not possible. There are too many options and like too many strategies out there, which I try to showcase at the moment as well, because I think so far we had every single attack was different. So we had at least in this video 6 different strategies. So it's getting tricky as base builder. So you have to like focus on a couple of one, and at the same time make sure that you're defending the most used ones. Let's put it like this. What Kyle is doing, he's trying to charge into the base, trying to make sure to get this pretty much L shape, which means he's able to mass miner this part. He's using the king to make the gap or like the pathing even more slim. So this is like the pathing, the miners have to go through, and he still has the stamina left, which means he can make sure that this is even more slim if he wants to. His queen is nearly dead because the healers were in range of the air defense, but even if the queen dies, he can he has the healer to switch to his miners, which is like never a bad thing. The queen even got the Inferno Tower down, and like I said, he's using the slammer to make sure that this side is even more compact, which means the miners can go through even better. And like I said, it's super different, or like super hard. Let's have it. Super hard to spot how many miners are alive. One thing what you can use pretty much is to see how fast buildings are dying. For example, you know, okay, like your cannon has decent health, but this cannon got two-shot by the miners. Even though the miners over here, they look like maybe 2 or 3 miners, but there has to be at least 5 miners, 5 to 6 miners, because the cannon went down so quick. At the same time, well, even the Inferno Tower went down to the miners, so there were a couple of miners, and like I said, if you don't know how many miners are there, just check out the health of the buildings they're attacking and how fast it is disappearing pretty much. And yeah, this is going to be a triple. Really nice attack by Kalle using the Queen Charge miners, one of my most favorite attacks in war. And let's get to the last attack, and this is going to be a kill squad miner attack from Vale, which is, like I said, kind of similar to the mass hog rider, but this is just like less hogs, more bowlers, and with all of it, like with 3 heroes into the base, which means he has to spend his warden ability to get through the tunnel, because that's normally the objective you're going for. So what he's doing, he's using a couple of hog riders. Well, it wasn't the best funnel because I think he used like quite a few hog riders to get rid of those 2 buildings. And then he's using the queen to get into the base with the king and the warden in a second as well. As soon as he's placed the warden, he can use the warden ability for the town hall. I think he forgot it even in the beginning, but it's in time to activate the town hall and the warden ability. And then he's using like the jump, and you can see it's even the worst CC for him, which means he has a lava hound in the CC in combination with the babe dragon, which is probably by far the worst when you're attacking with a kill squad. But still, he's using 2 rage, 1 jump, 3 heal normally. I think on this one he used 1 heal for the core to make sure that his boulders are still alive, because his queen was like a bit back. And check out how much value, like this entire part of the space is gone. Like this is insane. Like around 50% got taken out by his heroes with a couple of boulders. So it's super strong still, but you have to get the correct pace, because, for example, those tunnel compartments are super easy to funnel into. At the same time, you can get nice jump value over here. So that's pretty decent. Meanwhile, all of the hog guards are going through the couple of last buildings. The bomb tower, well, hurt the hogs a little bit. They're getting healed up immediately again. And meanwhile, the party wizards are doing a couple of... oh, crap. Like, what the heck was this spring trap over here? I don't know. But yeah, all of the wizards died over there. So there's this one lonely wizard. But yeah, those party wizards are doing work. And this is going to be another 3-star for Vale, and a really nice end for this video. I hope you guys liked it. And like I said, there will be like so many people ask me for base building videos. And there will be a base building / new Town 12 base soon. So stick around for that. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button on YouTube. And let's see, maybe we'll get a bit deeper into all of the possibilities we have in the future. And I guess this is just the beginning. I hope you guys liked this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.